Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Second Cup of Coffee. We're on week 3 of our series, Walk, W-A-L-K. We're looking at the life of the Apostle Thomas, called the Twin. We've said it in past weeks. I think he might have got that name because he kind of vacillates between doubt and faith. And I love him for it because I feel like I can identify with him. Not only do we share the same name, sometimes I think we share the same struggles. And I'm grateful that God wrote his life in the gospel so that we could have an encouragement and we can have a path to follow and a game plan to getting to where God has said we're going to go. So this week we're looking at Thomas. Jesus has died and risen again, and Thomas hasn't seen him. And the other apostles have, or some of them, so they come to him. John 20, verse 24. Now Thomas, called the Twin, remember he vacillates between faith and unbelief, one of the 12. Now that's important, right? He may have been called the Twin, but he was still one of the 12. Look, don't get condemned. Just get back in faith is where we want to get to today, okay? One of the 12 was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said to him, "We have seen the Lord." So he said, "Unless I see his hands, the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." And after 8 days, his disciples were again inside, and Thomas was with them. Jesus came, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst and said, "Peace to you." Then he said to Thomas, "Reach your finger here and look at my hands, and reach your hand here and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing." And Thomas answered and said to him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said, "Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." Don't hear that last bit as condemnation from Jesus to Thomas. It's a statement of fact, but it's a statement of hope for you. You look at Thomas's life and see that Jesus showed up through closed doors and even a closed mind and said, "Okay, I'll meet your conditions. And I'll do it for this reason, because there's another Thomas, last name Stonecipher, who you will never know on this side of your life, but thousands of years from now, he's going to read about your life, and he's going to say, you know what? If Jesus could meet Thomas that way, I have a chance to be blessed, because I can't see the nail prints. I can't put my finger in the side, but I can trust that he's going to show up for me just like he showed up for Thomas. And all I really need to do right now, or maybe the best thing I can do right now, is to get myself around some people with some testimony. Where do I get that? The other disciples, "Hey, we've seen the Lord." Get around some people that got some testimony of God coming through. Get around some people that got some testimony about some crazy provision that showed up at their door when no provision should have showed up at the door. You ever heard about the missionary couldn't feed his family, and every day a chicken showed up at the door and laid an egg? True story. I could give you story after story. I know a business owner in Rancho Cucamonga that was on the verge of losing his business and got a check in the mail that cleared the bank, that covered everything that he needed, and none of his customers ever fessed up to sending it, and yet it cleared. God does things like that. He shows up. So get around some testimony, because as he did with Thomas, Jesus is trying to pull you into a place of faith, because the miracle is in the works. Not your works, but what he's about to work out in you, through you, and in front of you. Be the blessed who have not seen and yet have believed. If you can't, start praying, "God, I want to be the blessed. I can't see it right now, but I'm going to say it out of my own mouth. I believe that you're going to do what you said you're going to do." And I'm going to get around people with some testimony because I need to be encouraged by their faith. This may encourage somebody else's faith today, so if it meant something to you, please share it. We appreciate wherever you find us. I hope that the last 3 weeks have been an encouragement for you. Catch up with us next week. We have a wonderful conversation coming, and we'll talk to you soon.